Okay, folks, this is now video 6. It's a direct continuation where I left off at in video 5, which that video got abruptly stopped. Okay, so let me show you today's date, and I'm only going to make a very couple fast statements. Okay, so this will be the shortest video out of this video series. So if you happen to run across this video first and you don't see, you're not going to be seeing any evidences or exposures in this particular video. I'm just going to make some very fast statements. Okay? I want you to know that I live in San Diego, California. I'm a targeted individual. I do not do any type of illegal narcotics whatsoever. I do not drink alcohol. I'm not violent in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a threat to myself or others. I am being subject to massive, extreme, community-based gang stalking along my routes, absolutely including through MTS, including at when buses let me off the bus, by and through people who are waiting to get on the bus, people who are already on the bus before I board it, and other people who get on the bus after I board it. Okay? I got massive evidence of being gang stalked on MTS bus routes, bus stops, and MTS trolley routes. MTS knows it because MTS is part of this crime. Part of this crime is cyber surveillance, which means they know they're being exposed. So if I get banned from any MTS transportation service, it'll be through a staged event. Make no mistake about it. And it does. And let me tell you something about gang stalking, folks. If you are a victim of this crime and you have any type of non-consensual implantation in you, they can literally, it's called neural weapons, Neuro. They can absolutely use neural weapon interface on you to influence your behavior so they can make it appear that them banning you was because of your behavior. Okay? Yeah. I mean, think about it. Just think about it for 1 second. Any victim of gang stalking who's got implants in their arms, okay? Bear with me a second. Implants in their arms, implants in their eyes, implants in their ears, implants in their brain, their spine, their neck, the back of the head, okay? Implants in their legs, including knees, ankles, feet, and toes. This implantation right here shows you goes all the way from the neck all the way down to the elbow, into the hands and the fingers, to the ears. It's the birobotization of human beings, which means they can literally, it's reported, they can literally remotely control your decisions, your speech, your actions, even your thoughts. And I know how this sounds, folks, trust me, but this is all over the internet. It is all over the internet. Okay? Like, for instance, do you see those 2 bruises on my arm there? Right there? Okay? That's my inner left arm. Look at where they're located at. Okay? Take a look where they're located at. Now, let's go way up here. Okay? What do you see here? Implant in the inner arm. Okay? And that's connected to this PDF where this printout is from the PDF file this implant is, that this picture you're seeing is from. Absolutely. Okay? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about, folks. And sometimes when they send too much energy to implants, do you think the victim might end up with what? Any type of bruises on their arms? Any type at all? In fact, let me show you this right here, actually. This right here is an implant that's connected to what? The rotation of turning your head. Look at what it says right there. Let me see if the article, the PDF file connected to this damn screenshot is included. Yeah, it's right there. So I'll talk about this in video either 8, 9, or 10 of this video series. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, hold on a second. So the link is in there, and then there's an attached link at the top that this is referring to. So this right here allows people to get, who are paralyzed, if they get these types of implants, it allows their head to be able to interface with other implants so their head can turn. People who are paralyzed from the neck down. So look at where they're at. Okay? Bear with me a second. Look at where they're at. The left, I have a hard time pronouncing it. The left platysma and the trapezoids, right? Now this is for people who are paralyzed from the neck down, right? And then an implant up in there, okay? And over here in the right plasma. Well, let's go over here and take a look at this. Okay? This is from the arm implant. Now, what do you notice there? The right plasma in the neck. Okay, right there in the neck. Let's take a look at this one, which is from the same PDF file. Right there and right there. There and there. Okay, so you see how they're all connected, right? Right? And then right here and right here. And this implant is connected to the turning of the head. So let me go back and show you another thing here real fast. Trust me, I'm going to expand on this in depthly in video 9 or 10 of this video series. Now let me go back and show you another thing here. So again, there's the bruises. Okay, so let me go back and show, and by the way, here's a scar that was recently discovered on the back of my left arm. It's a laser surgery scar, absolutely. Let me show you something right here. Do you see this right here? This is from a pictorial attachment I harvested in my email accounts in Michigan in 2010. And then I forgot all about it. Oh, absolutely. Now, this one right here, you see an implant in the back of the neck. Now, I got a TED Talk video, and a lot of TED Talk videos are dedicated to DARPA. DARPA is directly connected to the DOD. And the non-consensual human experimentation, vastly reported to be occurring to gang stalking victims, has an intimate connection to DARPA, the DOD, and the NIH. And even the Department of Health and Human Services. Okay? Oh, absolutely. In fact, you're going to be surprised when you start seeing my in-depth exposures about how some of these things that I've already shown you in this video and in the video series has an intimate connection to grants from who? National Institute of Health, and I've seen at least one of them in its connection to DARPA. And Medtronics. And I got an audio file showing a woman who's done extensive research, openly stating, it was an interview between Deborah Tavares and this woman. I've had it since at least 2019 or 20. It's on my other tape recorder. And it's at least, the audio file is at least 40 minutes long. And it talks about how, I'm not going to say the actual number, okay? But it talks about how massive amounts of implants were created through Medtronics, if I'm remembering correctly, okay, through Medtronics, that have, and Medtronics is a corporation that is, concerning the way it was verbalized in the video, it's the audio from the video, so the way it was verbalized in the video, in the audio, it was basically strongly implicating Medtronics implantations to the implantations that are occurring to gang stalking victims. To just put it as fast as I can briefly state it. Okay? Oh, absolutely. I got evidence of this, folks. I got the audio file and these PDF files that I'll be exposing in this vast video series is literally going to show you Medtronics is directly linked, openly stated, as well as DARPA and the NIH. Now, all three of those, okay, there's massive testimony on the internet to be intimately connected to some of the main players in the non-consensual human experimentations that are happening to gang stalking victims. But you should also know, again, gang stalking victims can be picked for 30 different crime motivations. Illegal probate control schemes, health insurance racketeering schemes, once we come down with diseases, illnesses, and including how they will disable us. Oh, absolutely. And I didn't even, and I haven't even disclosed yet, in any of the videos that I made so far connected to this video series, what they did to my knee on my way into Phil's Coffee Shop on February 4th, 2024, which, by the way, I just disclosed on a national radio show here in the last month. Part of the audio from that show is already in this YouTube account, absolutely. So anyways, this one right here that's put in the back of the neck on this right here, there's a TED Talk video I got saved in my Samsung Notes, and that I've talked about in many of my audio files, and I think even in a few videos. I don't think those videos have been uploaded yet, so just stay tuned to the account, okay? Trust me on that. Now, check this out. So, this this TED Talk video. It goes on to talk about how the human head can be turned remotely. Now, it's displayed though in the TED Talk when it comes to virtual reality headsets. Because when you put on a virtual reality headset, especially if you got extremely expensive gear connected to virtual reality headsets, it goes on to show about how a person will put a device at that very same exact identical to a T spot in the back of the head. It's a stimulator device. They put it on the back of the head. I'm sorry, in the back of the neck. There's an implant in the back of the head, one in the back of the neck, and 3 in the spine. Now, this implant right here that's positioned on the neck, I know you can't see it too well, but it's right here, right where you see that line go across, right here at the tip of my fingernail. It's an implant put in the back of the neck of gang stalking targets. Now, this TED Talk shows the woman openly show that if you are using very extremely high quality virtual reality headsets and additional gear, you put a stimulating device right there on the back of the neck. And what that does is that allows your avatar in the virtual reality landscape to turn his head. So in other words, say if you got a person who's got a virtual reality headset on, and then they put the stimulator thing on the back of their neck, and then once they put the virtual reality eye goggles on, okay, and then they'll have additional virtual reality stuff like the gloves. Just research virtual reality a little bit, like for an hour, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Hold on. Bear with me a second. So if you can picture a color-rendered image of yourself in a virtual reality landscape, and you're moving, just like in a video game, and you're moving inside of a building, and you get to a certain spot, and you hear something, or for whatever reason you decide to turn your head, when you physically turn your head, the image, the physical representation of you in the virtual reality landscape will also turn its head. Now, the reason why that is done is because the stimulator device you put on the back of your neck is reading your electrophysiological signals dedicated to that head movement, and it's transferring it from the stimulator device into the machine and into the virtual reality landscape to that rendered representation of you. So when you turn your head, it turns its head. Okay? And that's how it's displayed in the TED Talk. Now, the stimulator device that's put on the back of the neck for the virtual reality gear is at the same exact identical to a CT spot that you see it here being implanted in a gang stalking target. Do you notice gang stalking mentioned down here? Okay? So you got one in the back of the neck, and that's the one I'm referring to. 3 in the spine, 1 in the back of the head. And by the way, in these types of implants right here, you also get implants in the spine. Now, say if you're a gang stalking target, and you got islands implants in you, which are... Oh, by the way, you need to know this. I'm going to make this statement before I forget. These types of islands implants in my eyes, I got an audio file from, I think it's around 2017 or 18, that shows Karen Melton Stewart openly state in an interview, she's given a conference call podcast online with a woman by the name of Ella Free, and a bunch of other targeted individuals are calling in and talking to her, and this one grown man was crying because he was being tortured so bad. Hold on a second. And he was talking to Karen Melton Stewart, and Karen Melton Stewart openly said that if you got implants in your eyes, they're also connected to implants in your ears. Okay? Which means that's how... when you research remote neural monitoring and gang stalking crimes, the 2 biggest things reported about remote neural monitoring is the fact that they can see through your eyes and hear through your ears. So if you got islands implants in you, along with ear implants in you, they're set up to work together. So say you're a gang stalking victim, and you're enduring gang stalking color coding connected to gang stalking crimes. Black and white, red and black, yellow and black, okay? Red and white, by the way, the front of MTS buses are red and white, and when you get on the bus, they're red and black. And every time I get on their bus, there's individuals sitting on the bus carrying or wearing something that's red or black, red or white. I'm sorry, red or black, red and white, black and white, and other colors. in specific color-coded arrangements. Absolutely. I got massive evidence of it, folks. And color coding is even discussed. Hold on a second. When you bring up this YouTube link right here, all right, no, that's not a snap screenshot, so I can't zoom in on it. So you bring up that YouTube link, it discusses some of the features and functions of these islands implants. Now that is episode 58 in the Techno Crime Fighters Forum YouTube playlist of Dr. Catherine Horton's Stop 007 YouTube channel. If you watch enough of those videos, you're going to hear Romola D and Dr. Catherine Horton openly talk about color coding, including black and white. Okay? Absolutely. Because now, when you do research into prosthetic islands implants and bionic eyes and stuff like that, do research into that. And what are you going to see? You're going to see people with vision problems who got these eye headsets on, like eye gear on, okay, while they're being tested. And what are they being shown as they're being tested? Okay, patterns on a computer monitor that are what? Black and white. In fact, let me even go as far as this. Bear with me a second. Okay? Trust me, you want to watch this video. I'm going to try and bring it up. Let's see if I can't, because the sickos constantly buffer my phone. Oh, absolutely. So let's see if I can bring it up. Bear with me. This might take a minute or two. Because you need to know, consider this. Say if you're a gang stalking victim and you go to the grocery store, right? And if they got the ability to turn your head, remember what you're seeing on this, right? And what I showed you concerning that snap screenshot in the tweet chain that I showed you, where the paralyzed person from the neck down had the implants directly at the same spot, and those implants directly at the same spot, and the same description. Okay? Oh, absolutely. And those implants were put there so that the implants could interface with a neuroprosthetic implant, which is a brain implant, a brain prosthetic implant, brain to computer interface implant, okay, where they communicate with each other, and then the brain says, I want to turn my head, and then that information goes to these electrodes, and the head is then turned. Excuse me. Oh, absolutely. You just would not believe what gang stalking victims are enduring through these satanic bastards, because they just don't give a shit. So say if you're a gang stalking victim, I'm looking for that video right now as I'm talking to you, so if I seem a little distracted, just bear with me. Okay, so say if you're a gang stalking victim who's got these types of implants in them that would allow perpetrators to turn your head against your will. And they want you to see color coding. Bear with me a second. Let me find this video so I can get it out of the way. Okay, just trust me, folks, okay? Oh, you wouldn't believe what's happening to gang stalking victims. It's demonic beyond description. It's literally demonic beyond description. Oh, absolutely. And we're not allowed to get any proof that we're implanted anywhere because these sick bastards who have done this to us. Oh, and by the way, you definitely want to research sound bite hearing. Just research it. Oh, absolutely. And what you see concerning that, you're going to see most of the materials and devices are placed outside. You should also research neuroprosthetic speech decoders. Oh, absolutely. You just would not believe what's happening in this crime, folks. You literally would not believe it. Oh, absolutely. Bear with me a second. Okay, hold on. I'm looking for it, and just suddenly I can't find it, even though it should be, like, right in here. Oh, absolutely. Alright, so I tell you, oh yeah, I mean, they're even going as far as putting implants in our jugular veins. Those would be specific types of cup electrodes, which are even shown here. Okay, C for cup, and wherever you see C here is where a cup electrode is put in the arteries and veins. They're demonic. I hate these I can't stand these vile animals more than I can express. Oh, absolutely. So I found it. Let me bring it up. It's going to probably take a minute or two for it to come up. And I'm going to show you this video. Once it comes up, I'll show you the title of it at least. And you want to bring it up and watch it. And then you want to watch all the other videos in the account as soon as you can. Oh, absolutely. See, I'm trying to bring it up. Alright, now hold on. See, the rest of the title won't come up. It's being buffered. Oh, absolutely. So this, oh, absolutely. Okay, so this is it right here. Bring this video up, and you're going to learn about what they're doing to my eyes through the eyelids implants, and you're going to see why black and white is so important to these psycho maggot bastards who have done this to me. Absolutely. You're going to understand why ultrasound, which I openly expose, I'm enduring. In fact, check this out. Let me show you something here real fast. Let me show you baby cakes. I want you to look at this picture right here. And I showed ultrasound being caught live in real time in video 5. This is video 6. This is one of thousands of readouts from my ultrasound detector app. Okay? Look at the elevation. Now, ultrasound is more than likely being introduced at least as a sine wave. So, oh, absolutely. And when you see video 1 through 6, this being the 6th one, you'll see, and then you watch this one, you're going to see why sine waves are so important. Okay, but they're probably using also UHF and UUHF waves on the ultrasound as offset Curie waves for the picture imagery, and if the victim is enduring voice to skull. So bring this video up and you'll have a thorough understanding. I'll probably play this video in video number 9 or 10 related to this lawyer video series video. Okay, because this video is part of a lawyer video series package that I'm making. Okay, so let me go back to the tweet. Beep. So we bring this back up, and then we look at this. So let's go back down here for a minute. Okay. And this right here talks about speech decoders. Oh, absolutely. You just would not believe the things that they are putting in gang stalking victims. You literally, we can have up to 50 to 70 or more, 70 implants in us, all working together as an integrated system. And these vile, vicious animals are making millions of dollars off us. Oh, absolutely. As a direct result of remotely interfacing with them through remote neural monitoring. Absolutely. Okay, and a lot of the research, a lot of material that you're going to bring up online when you do this research, you're going to see it being presented for the sake of medical research to help people. Well, they're using it for human experimentation, but they're also using it in order to, well, you'll see why when I make the other videos. You'll thoroughly understand it. Thoroughly. Oh, absolutely. Stay tuned to this account, folks. Do not walk away. So going back to this picture right here, in fact, let me see if I can bring up this article connected to it. So bear with me a second, because I got to bring the phone back up over here. And I'm going to talk about that, by the way, and because God only knows how many videos are going to be connected to this series. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to bring this up. Okay. Evaluation of head orientation and neck muscle EMG signals as command inputs to a human-computer interface for individuals with high tetraplegia. Tetraplegia is directly connected to these arm implants as well. It's literally mentioned in the PDF file that I showed in video 4 and 5. It's literally on the PDF file, right on the title of it. This one right here, okay, is the exact identical description of this type of implantation right here. And you would not believe what's happening to my arms, my neck, okay, this side of my face, my neck, all over my neck. You just would not believe what's going on in the hood. And I am not exaggerating, folks, at all. Where do you see every video of this video series? Now, if you bring this article up right here and thoroughly dissect it, and in all articles that I showed you in this video series, you want to make sure you dissect it all the way down to the bottom, bring up all links, and I'm trying to scroll this down so I can, all right, hold on. You want to make sure that you always look at the additional related materials at the bottom, because you see how it's got like 32 here and then another link that you can click on. Well, these links, 31, 32, 30, 29, these are all referenced to in the actual PDF file. So when you run into dialogue in it, like see up here where it says 23, click on 23, and that takes you down to the link below at the bottom, which will show you additional materials related to that specific exposure in the paragraph. Okay? Now, this one right here literally shows that it's connected to the orientation of your head movement. Okay? Evaluation of head orientation, which means your head moving right, left, up, and down. Right, left, up, and down. And I'm going to say something here, it's going to sound gross, but it needs to be said. Just hear me out, folks. What does a woman do when she gives oral sex to a man? Her head goes up and down. What are they doing eventually to massive amounts of gang stalking victims who are women? Forcing them into prostitution, including the women who got implants in them. So if a woman is going up and down on a man, I don't mean to be graphic, folks, I honestly, sincerely don't, but just hear me out. If a woman is going up and down on a man during oral sex, when she does that, that head movement, the head movement itself, it's electrophysiological signals, the neuron activity from the brain connected to that head movement of the head going up and down is dedicated to a population of neurons in the primary motor cortex. Remote neural monitoring is choreographing them, identifying them and choreographing them, okay? Which means later they can turn around and stimulate them. Once they get her, through voice to skull and voice morphine, to cooperate with the human trafficking. That will be discussed in upcoming videos, and trust me, you'll see it. You'll completely, thoroughly see it. Absolutely. See, because what you got to understand about these sick demonic bastards is that one victim can be picked for 30 crime motivations. Why do you think 70% of victims are women? Do you think that's an accident? Okay? Voice to skull with voice morphine can easily happen through what? An ear implant. And by the way, this implant here, and the leg implants connected to this. In fact, ear implants are reported to be connected to these. I mean, why do you think you see this up here in part? Okay? Just trust me, folks. When you see the other additional information, you'll completely see it. You're even seeing it right here. Ear implants being connected to gang stalking crimes, and then you see all these other implants, including the one in the back of the neck. Okay? Trust me, folks, it's an integrated system where they all work together, including the neuroprosthetic implant in the brain itself. Okay, which is what's recording the populations of neurons dedicated to each movement. That right there is dedicated to head movement. It's also connected to arm movement, and they're recording the EMG signals from it through the myoelectric recording electrodes, which are right here. Notice how some of it also goes up by the ear. M is for myoelectric. If you research what a myoelectric recording electrode is, it records electrophysiological signals and much more. They are demonic, sick-ass bastards who host this crime. And why do you think we're not allowed to be in... Why do you think no gang stalking victim is being allowed to prove they're implanted? You could walk into a hospital and show them a picture of this, and they'll say, I don't know what that is. Or they'll say, so... And that's it. You can't get no help from nobody because this crime is protected. Absolutely. So, folks, this all works together. Now, this particular video, this video right here didn't really have a sequential presentation like the other, like the first. I think this is video 7 actually. So the first 6 videos were made a lot better. This is just me flying around back and forth in the tweet chain showing you different stuff. Okay, but I want you to know, I want you to say to yourself, and then these are the implants that are used for bladder and bowel control, connected to the same systems. Excuse me, please. So this right here is intimately connected to, okay, this up here. Because why do you think when you go to Google and type in at Google the birobotization of gang stalking victims, these are leg implants. Imagine having these in you, all this in you, okay, not to mention what's in your cheeks, jaw, ears, eyes, nose, brain. Why do you think they're protecting themselves by not allowing victims to prove what's in them? Why do you think they set victims up along their routes for assaults, including running them over with cars, okay, to disable them? so they can get a hold of them and throw them in a group home before they get legal help. Why do you think that is? Because they know they use these implants to literally neurally control a human being into sexual slavery. They know it. And they know the victim has discovered this type of material. Okay, now they know it. Okay, they know it. They know what they've done to the victim. Therefore, they got to put the victim in an isolated environment before the victim can get medical proof, okay, and legal help. They know it. There's no way they cannot know it. They're interfacing with them. They put them in there and then they're remotely interfacing with them. Then they remotely control a human being into sexual slavery and much more. Much, much more. They know the victim has discovered it, so now they're going to try and set the victim up by disabling the victim and or nearly controlling the victim so that the victim ends up assaulting somebody by controlling the arms, okay, controlling the legs to walk to somebody, okay. The Islands implants and their intimate direct connection to the ear implants allow them to control what you think. Voice is called with voice morphine, okay. So let me close this video out by saying this. And if I get cut off in the middle of talking, I'm not going to make another video tonight to conclude that statement that I was at when I got cut off. So just stay tuned to the account. Trust me. Okay? So I want you to pay attention here. Okay. So I showed you the implant that would allow these demonic bastards. Okay, I'll show you more information about these and the rest of this stuff in the upcoming videos connected to this video series. But let's say they can control the movement of your head, right? So let's say you're at a grocery store or on a bus route or at a bus stop or outside of a grocery store or walking between businesses or walking down the street, anywhere, okay, in a restaurant. And they bring a person in that's wearing black and white. Now remember, you got to watch that video, the one that's got the demigods in the title, the one that I brought up a few minutes ago. Watch that, okay? Now, the victim who's got these type of Islands implants in them, the community-based gang stalking props up black and white, red and black, including in certain patterns, including on shoes, the side of pants, okay, shirts, front and back, okay, and much more. You wouldn't believe, even things they carry. Because all the perpetrators have to do is be able to see a certain color, its density, and the way it's patterned. It goes from the Islands implants to them at the speed of light. I got audio files showing all this shit being talked about. Absolutely. So it goes to them through ultrasound on the speed of light. Okay? And then the computer that sees it is already pre-programmed to acknowledge it. Okay? So once it acknowledges it, it sends back to the ear implant, voice to skull with voice morphine. Okay? Like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to approach this asshole and say something to him. Okay? So the victim believes they're having their own thought. So then what they do then is they then stimulate the leg implants to get that victim to get up and walk to that person. Okay? Then research for speech and remote neuromonitoring, where they control the speech by the continuation of the use of voice to skull with voice morphine. And voice to skull with voice morphine can occur with or without an ear implant, by the way. So they control you to get you up and they control you to get you to walk to that person. The eyes and ears are intimately connected. They turn your head to see the person who's wearing the color coding. Okay? So as soon as you turn your head and you see it, the Islands implants takes that color code